There's this great thing about watching people on the runway finally being seen and feeling like beautiful and loved. And it doesn't matter what age you are, like everyone's still suffering from some kind of intergenerational trauma. And then watching them walk down the runway, it's like, yeah, it might be shallow, but it's really not. If you really look deeper into it, it's like this beautiful thing in this moment in time, and they get to feel powerful, and then they get to carry that onto their jobs, which is really cool, right? Because we're not trying to make a bunch of models, we're trying to make functioning people. 'I live in Vancouver, which is the home of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh people.
How has modeling impacted your life?
I feel like modeling saved my life. I'm like from the downtown east side and from the 100 block area, so I think I might have been swallowed up, honestly, if I didn't go away. So like my first trip was to Taipei in Taiwan in 1999, and I got to be different people for different clients and kind of a blank canvas, which is also can kind of distort your identity. I think a lot of people thought I was Asian when I was like obviously trying to explain what Native was, and I had to do like the bow and arrow and and they're like, oh, John Wayne. I'm like, no, but in terms of like trying to explain what who I was and where I was from. But I feel like modeling definitely got me out of like a situation that I wouldn't be able to get myself out of.
How did you get introduced in the world of modeling?
I actually was not thinking about becoming a model. I was in line for free juice at the Peony. It was a smoothie, and someone tapped me on my shoulder, and I had just grown in high school, and I just shot up like a beanstalk. I'm Cree, so I'm tall, and just having her tap me on my shoulder kind of lit a fire under my sister's butt and my mom's butt to get me into it. I wasn't really into it, to be honest. I was very much a tomboy and very, very shy. So if I didn't become a model, I don't know what would have happened to me. So it would definitely kind of save my life.
Can you explain how you got inspired to start Supernaturals modeling and any barriers you had faced?
I think Supernaturals kind of was birthed from Vancouver Indigenous Fashion Week. I didn't mean to make a bunch of models. It was something I was actually trying to avoid because my time in the industry was even though it did save me, it was kind of like a traumatic time in my life because you're so young and you're being told to be thinner, be wider, be darker. You're kind of always on display, and so you have to be really mentally strong to do that kind of job. But I think with Vancouver Indigenous Fashion Week, we have all types of range of body types, all types of shades of Indigenous color. So I think I just wanted to create a space that Indigenous people felt comfortable, and then that kind of led into the Supernaturals where, you saw some of them today, Jamin and Tegan, feeling comfortable in who they are, and that's hopefully that will inspire other people to feel comfortable. You don't have to be a model. I think having more doctors and nurses and teachers would be great too, and we don't want people who just want to be models. We want people to have an outside outlet. Model might be a secondary thing, something that brings you to your culture because you're wearing something Indigenous or not, just having that family unit. So I think that's what inspired me. We just wanted to make sure that they were protected because going to other agencies, they were asked to cut their hair, lose weight, and not be respectfully culturally. So just having that safe space for them is something I wanted to create.
What's your inspiration to start Vancouver Indigenous Fashion Week?
I think Vancouver Indigenous Fashion Week for me, why I started was because of, first of all, there wasn't anything happening in Vancouver at the time. I was a community support worker. I was a doula as well. I think in 2008, I came back to school, started working with families, Indigenous families coming off reserve, and just noticing no matter what I did for these families, they still didn't feel comfortable in the land that they're living in. So in Vancouver, there's 3 host nations there, but I can just see that there was not a whole lot of representation in a lot of things. It was still before the murals went up. We have a bunch of Indigenous murals now, so there was nothing happening. So I really felt that there would need to be something special or something big happening in Vancouver. I started working with this group called the Urban Butterflies, which my mom is a 60s Cooper, and all these kids are coming from foster care, and they were really into like Hannah Montana and people that did not represent them. And so in making Vancouver Indigenous Fashion Week, I was thinking about these youth. And I had this fashion show on Indigenous Day in 2013. And all these little kids just kind of like rushed to the stage and was like super excited to see these beautiful Indigenous people on stage. So like I knew I had something tangible there. So I made something because there wasn't anything for us. And then I know it seems like this shallow industry, and it's just like, it's definitely like I guess, what do you call it? Like an iceberg. Because we're doing all this other programming underneath Fashion Week. It's just like we're doing ribbon skirt making, going home to your home community, getting youth involved, and all this other special magical stuff that's happening underneath. But like the spectacle is like Fashion Week. And that kind of brings everyone in, because beauty does have that transformative power of like changing people's minds and, just being strong. And I think that's why Vancouver Indigenous Fashion Week exists, and that's why I tried to do, and I'm happy that it worked, basically.
What does resilience mean to you?
I feel like resilience means like not stopping, not giving up. I'll use a basketball reference because I play basketball. We've been going to the All-Native for 21 years and we've only won once. So it's just like that win was so much better because we've been putting in that work for so many years and keep on showing up to practice, which created another safe space for Indigenous young people. And yeah, I feel like even if you don't want to go, you still have to go. And I think that's resilience, and that's like your Cookham and your ancestors kind of behind you, pushing you. So I think that's what resilience means to me. What I'm noticing too is just like a lot of people give up quite easy, and I would say like kind of figure out what your gifts are and like kind of notice the people that are telling you what you're good at. Because like I feel like people go into like what they think they want, and like no one's like kind of like not reading the room, right? Like I would say for youth, like learn to read the room and learn what your gifts are quite early. Then you don't have to like go through all these trials and tribulations. Because I know for myself, like if I was listening to my elders, I would have been on this journey a lot sooner, right? So I would say put in your 1,000 hours and listen to the elders around you.